I know you like your sports better than you lean on. You sometimes say, oh, the heck with that. But here's what I've got for you. We have the draft on Thursday. This is life-changing for these kids, right? I mean, it's not as life-changing as it used to be because of NIL. These guys now, some of them are going to take pay cuts. That kid Beck is down at Miami making $4 million. When he goes to the NFL, they have a whole different structure. He's going to take a big pay cut because Brock Purdy, by the way, with his contract, he was just under $1 million last year. That's $1 million, not $4 million. $1 million last year on the rookie contract. Now he's going to sign a monster after that. But these players, it does change your life though, because you get involved at the NFL and there's so many different perks that are out there. And I think it's really exciting to see. And I thought, you know what? Mark likes the quarterbacks. He wants to know who the Jets are going to take. And they probably need a quarterback, right? So I don't think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, by the way. But anyway, so you've got a top three right now, right? You've got Cam Ward. Everybody said he's number one. As a matter of fact, Tennessee said that's who we're taking. They might be playing games, Mark. They might be sitting out there saying, we're going to take him. But they might suddenly have to start fielding some of the calls that are maybe going to want to trade up to get Cam because he is by far the number one. He's QB1 in this draft. But not terribly far, but far enough away as Shedeur Sanders. Then you've got Jackson Dart, kid from University of Mississippi. But after that, Mark, there's a couple of other quarterbacks, and I think a lot of people have looked past the fact that there's more quarterbacks in this draft than meets the eye, because I think there's a lot of very good, very big, very strong guys that are playing at an elite level, and college football just gets better and better and better every single year. The talent is just unbelievable. So the kid out of Louisville, I think, he's going to be amazing. 6'5", 240-pound kid who can throw the ball all over the place. He's unbelievable. He's one from Louisville. You've got Milroe from Alabama, who is an incredible athlete. I think he will be a good quarterback going into the future of this. Will Howard from Ohio State, another one. Riley Leonard from Notre Dame, another one. I think that there's enough quarterbacks in this draft that your Jets might actually do something in the quarterback side of things, depending on how things. They're not going to sign Aaron. Don't even think about that. But so, what do you think? Do you lean towards anybody specifically, or are you tired of them going out and taking some kid from Alabama or wherever, and they just become another flop?
No, listen, I think that, the Jets definitely have a little bit of spring cleaning to do. Obviously, Rodgers panning out nowhere near what the fans were hoping or expecting. I'm hoping to get another invitation, as I did last year, to the training camp day, which is always very exciting. My fave amongst them, of course, is Cam Ward. I hate to just pile on with the rest of the the NFL echo chamber, but it's hard to deny the talent that this kid has. And I will ask you this question, Pete, just on the business side of sports, because I always love covering that too. Just contextualize for folks, the NFL draft, if I understand correctly, is the second most watched NFL broadcast after the Super Bowl. Is that still the case?
It's very close if it's not, Mark. And I will tell you this, that's something that none of the other sports really can even get close to matching up. And I think a lot of that has to do with the popularity of college football. Now, sure, you've got great popularity in basketball too, but the problem is you're not really seeing a lot of kids getting drafted anymore from the U.S. You go to the NBA draft, they're coming from somewhere over, in Croatia or wherever, and it's somebody that you've never heard of. Even if they're great, you'd still have never heard of them. Yeah. And it's just a different dynamic, and I think that's why the NFL draft is so big. I mean, day one is huge. Day two is also big, and they just keep on going, Mark, and it is one thing that the NFL absolutely dominates is just the whole media structure of how they've done it. The only thing that they've screwed up is the Pro Bowl. Other than that, I think they do a great job with everything else. But the Pro Bowl is as boring as it is any of the other sports as well, where it's just terrible and it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. The players don't care. And for whatever reason, a couple of fans show up, but it is not anything close to the numbers that you're going to see at the draft this year.
Yeah,
That's going to be big.
The draft has just become sort of almost must-see reality TV. These kids sitting on the couch with the parents and the grandparents and waiting and watching and seeing that reaction. It's become such a human interest in an American success story. People cannot get enough of it. I'll be watching on Thursday.
I'll give you one last one real quick. So FCS. Now that's the next level down from the schools that most everybody follows, but it doesn't mean that they don't have incredible talent. And I'll tell you what, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Montana, there's a lot of places out there, Mark, where you've got unbelievable kids out there that have put up unbelievable numbers. Trey Lance was one of those guys who I think actually at some point is going to be able to figure out the NFL. Let's not forget, when Trey Lance had all those draft picks traded so that he could go to the 49ers, it did not work. John and I talked about that before, but he played 1 year of college football basically, and then he got back into the draft, or he got into the draft and went to San Francisco. I think he needed more experience. He's got it now. But there's a kid from North Dakota State right now named Cam Miller. All he did is go in there and basically changed all the records that were already set. Unbelievable player. So he's somebody that will get drafted and nobody's going to know who he is, but he's a heck of a player. And there's a few of those. There's another offensive lineman. He's going to go in the first round, Mark. The North Dakota State kid. He's played left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle in his career at North Dakota State, who all they do is basically go to the national title every single year. And most of the time they win it. South Dakota State sort of has the same thing. They've got a running back. They've had tight ends that have gone into the NFL. There's so many tight ends from South Dakota State right now in the NFL, and nobody knows it because they just don't pay attention. But there's great football at FCS. And those are, the Cal Davises of the world. And, there's so many, Sacramento, and there's a lot of different schools. But I'll tell you what, Mark, I think it's just as exciting for those guys, maybe even more exciting. And I'll tell you what, occasionally you get a Division III guy who's going to get drafted as well. So this will be the most fun draft that we've seen so far, I think, because there's so many quarterbacks. There's a heck of a lot of running backs, and there's a lot of players that people really know. It's going to be very, very fun to watch this draft on Thursday night.